Welcome to another episode of Drink About at Raleigh. I'm your host, Tony, and we're filming here in our new location at the loading dock located in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm here with my new friend, Terriann. I just met her via Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And Terriann, you just moved here from
the Bay Area in California. Glad to be here.
Well, cheers, welcome. Raleigh
Cheers.
welcomes you. I discovered Terriann actually on Instagram at her awesome pictures that illustrates a variety of cocktails and social events, including weddings. And so I reached out to her and said, hey, would you be a guest on our show? And she agreed, and here we are today. Interesting, talking to her before, getting to know each other before we started filming. Turns out we have a lot in common, the way we bartend, the way we see the world, and so it's really nice to have you here today. I appreciate it.
He's pretty much my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Is what's going on.
Yeah, the power of Instagram, right?
Right?
Actually, never underestimate the power of drinking.
Yes, social media for life, yeah.
But, you just moved here, what, a year and a half ago?
A year and a couple of months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what brought you to Raleigh, let's say?
Born and raised in Pennsylvania, and since in the last 13 years have lived in California. My brother moved here when I left Pennsylvania to go to California. He moved here and came back to visit a handful of times.
Is he still here?
He's here,
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Came to visit him a handful of times.
So now you have family here.
Now we have family. My kids are 5 and 7, and it's just a great place to raise kids. And
it really is a great place to raise children.
Keep them young, teach them to say yes ma'am and yes sir.
Which is true, that's a lost art. I encourage everybody to keep that going. Let's keep that going. One thing that always commonly comes up in these interviews is that people are attracted to the manners and the Southern lifestyle of being polite.
Right.
And that attracts it here.
Yeah.
I think people really like that, even though it's a lost art for a lot of places. And
It's
I know,
true.
Lots of times if you and I talked about this before filming, if you see North Carolina or Raleigh in a news perspective or a media perspective outside this area, sometimes it can be
distorted.
Yeah. Like even you said, you were terrified.
Right.
You didn't know if you were going to walk in
questioning
there.
what was going to happen when
Right.
we got here. I know that maybe a little less lax than California. Yeah.
Right.
But to our surprise, there's a great variety of people who live here. And I don't know if you knew this, but 465 people a week move to this county, to Wake County.
I did not know
and
that, actually.
guaranteed, most of them are not from North Carolina as it is. And so we're automatically getting a lot of different mixed views.
Oh,
and
gosh, that's why we have that's one of the things that makes Raleigh great. Y'all means all for a reason.
Yeah.
It has a small town feel. It has the metropolitan feel also, though. Like you have everything going. You're in the social scene. You bartend here at a local restaurant.
Right.
And so you and I were talking about this before. She and I love bartending. We love what that job is about. But you also have another job that you're doing on the side.
Yeah.
You've begun catering and doing events that way. So can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So I'll start with the beginning. I started bartending 15 years ago. I've been in the service industry for 23 years now, and found my true passion in the service industry. Everybody has their niche. Like, there's not a position that's less important in any restaurant. It all begins with the dishwasher.
That's
exactly
you know what I mean?
And
exactly right.
I found my thing. My thing is mixing cocktails, getting high fives, and lots of mm-mm-ms, and please tell me how you made that. And
it's a show. You're
lots of hookups and even marriages and children from people that I've served in my bar.
If you stay in the place long enough, you actually develop relationships with your customers and their families, and it really is a unique thing because you're there during celebrations, you're there during times of turmoil, for lack of a better description.
Yeah, lots of hugs.
Yeah.
Hugs and high fives. It's pretty much what bartending is about.
It's fun making drinks.
Yeah.
Being a bartender in particular requires a je ne sais quoi, and it's more than just mixing drinks. It's more than just being behind a bar and stocking beer. It's so much more than that.
It's having big shoulders. A lot of the time, you have to.
And switching gears, we're actors. For a long time, for 30 seconds, you've got to be a crying shoulder. The next 30 seconds, you have to be in a congratulatory mode, celebrating somebody getting married. And you have to be able to identify what that patron needs your role to be almost immediately.
Or, on the other side of the coin, you know that you can go buy a 6-pack for $6, PBR. All about it. Love PBR. You can go out and spend $6 for that, or you go and have one cocktail for maybe 10. You're paying for more than just the cocktail. You're paying for a listening ear. You're paying for the bartender, it's something I love to do, to be like, what's your name? Where are you from? Actually be interested in the guest. And you see another person that comes in who's maybe from out of town or needs another listening ear, and you introduce them, and then you develop a relationship for both of those people, and then you hear them make plans like, let's go next door and play some games at Boxcar or whatever they're doing.
Is really fun.
Yeah. So not only we're creating relationships between ourselves and our guests, we're helping create relationships for other people sitting at the bar, and who knows if they're going to exchange a number.
So can I get my new title? Instead of being a bartender, I want to be a liaison. Can I do that? Okay, we'll do that.
Right.
So tell us about the business that you're doing. Like, what is your target demographic?
Targeted demographic is anybody who likes to celebrate anything for any reason, whether it be life, death, marriage, birthdays, anything. So I do work full-time as a bartender at a restaurant at the Pit Barbecue, downtown Raleigh, which I love. Eastern Carolina barbecue,
really
the apple
ribs.
cider vinegar and crushed red pepper.
But they do have really good ribs.
Yeah, and, really
collard
good.
Greens. They're collard greens of all things.
Yes.
That's a big deal in the South. I don't know if it is in
I just always thought it was greens. I had no idea what collards were.
Oh, no, that's a thing.
Yeah, no, it's bomb. And it just so happens to be good for you, so you can eat your weight.
If you cook them right, they're not good for you.
No. Yeah. But so what I wanted to do, and I've wanted to do for my whole entire life, is own my own business. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to work for themselves? And when I became a bartender, I knew that there was more. So it's great having a concrete foundation bar to work in for other people. But I started getting asked to do weddings, like people who came in as regular guests, like, hey, will you please bartend my wedding? I'm like, okay, I never have, but how could it be any different? And then you find out that it's way different. Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's a different animal altogether. Yeah, absolutely. It's so much reward to be a part of a wedding, an anniversary, a graduation, a baby shower, a bridal shower, a celebration of life, and to be a part of every guest's memory, and create laughs for them in times when they need it.
My husband Bill says the same thing. Like that's part of what he does in his job, and what gives him his perspective is that we're creating memories for people. Yeah. And that's a big deal. Places he works, he takes that seriously, and we take that seriously, and so it makes a big difference. Something interesting though, like weddings in particular, I avoid them like the plague.
See, I'm the opposite. I love it. I believe in true love. I believe in passion.
I believe in all that, but the wedding itself. Yeah. If somebody tells me wedding, I automatically envision a bridezilla. Right. The bride's mom. All that stuff's just going to go. No. Yeah. But I mean, a wedding is a big show. Bartenders are big shows. We're the big show.
I've
done I've bartended some weddings. I've coordinated some weddings before. And I was like, okay. But the thing, you mentioned baby showers, and I think it's interesting. When I was growing up, the idea of having alcohol at a baby shower was just unheard of. No. Never occurred to me. Nowadays, that's a celebration. It is. It makes it better because, after all, the thing is for adults. Right. I did a baby shower for a friend of mine years ago, and we did champagne, and it was a big hit. Yeah. And the next thing I know, other people are doing this too. So
the idea started with myself. So I have 2 kids, like I mentioned, and just because I can't drink doesn't mean that you shouldn't have to drink. Right. I'm not trying to sit on a lily pad, and I'm not trying to make you sit on a lily pad and wait for me to squirt out a baby. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to celebrate. We're bringing this life
and people
into the world.
I think you get better gifts too if you know there's going to be booze there. Like, you're going to get, all right, I'm going to bring you something nice. Yes. Stuff like that. Do you have a website or anything?
I do. It's bartinisliquidcatering.com. That's a good name. I love Bartini, so I thought of this probably 10 years ago when I knew that this was the direction that I wanted to go in, but I wasn't ready yet. Everybody has the time when they're ready,
Right. And who's ready?
Right, yeah. My kids were still babies, and I knew that we were planning on moving to North Carolina, and this is where we wanted to raise our family, and so I wanted to wait to start to launch Bartini's Liquid Catering until we got here.
So you get settled.
Yeah, settled. Been here for a year and met some great people who are now my staff and who I trust fully, and I can coordinate events on the side and send them to do jobs. And
that's going to be a big relief. It's hard if you start a business to surrender that.
Right.
And I understand that.
Right. But they're people that when I first started working with them, I looked at them as would I hire them for my business, like I do all my coworkers, and they were the winners.
Oh, that's good. Well,
so,
I haven't known you this short while.
Yeah.
Like, if you say that you would hire somebody, I have to think that's high praise indeed. Like,
I like to think so.
Yeah.
Pretty picky. Yeah.
That's what you want to be, discerning.
Yeah.
You know, what do you see you going like in a year from now? Maybe like, what do you want to see your business do?
I hope to extend my services. I would like to include a server staff. I would like to, something really fun that I've been throwing around is doing team building for corporate America. And we will come to you and do like a skills lab of how to make cocktails. And
Yes, that's awesome
you
idea.
have people coming from out of town, like many people do in Raleigh, and you need to entertain your guests from wherever in America or in the world.
Yeah.
And how am I going to loosen everybody up, having fun, have them
That's
have
a
fun,
fantastic idea.
hands-on activity, and we're going to do just how to build
That's
cocktails.
easy to implement too. Like,
Cheers,
we still got to
yeah.
get the question. So, what is your favorite song? What makes you like if you're driving down the road?
Just
Having
when you
a
hear
great
it, you're
day,
bebopping.
like, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I don't know what the ultimate one is, but the last one that I can remember bebopping to and then texting myself. Do you text
Oh,
yourself?
yeah, yep. I do all the
Texting
time.
myself is Vince Gill, even though I am very
Vince
like,
Gill.
I want to rebel against how I was raised and say that I don't like country, but
I
I
love
love
country.
I know. Liza Jane. That one, when it comes
that one.
on, yeah, I think that I sound amazing. When
That's
I sing
another thing
that
too
song.
that helps.
Yeah.
I sing best in the shower. Thank you for meeting with
Yeah,
us. I
glad
can't
to be
wait. I
here.
hope to work with you in the future. I
Yes.
look forward to getting to know you better and seeing what happens.
I'll be there.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you for being on the
Cheers.
show.
Yeah, thank
And
you for
remember,
having me.
Never underestimate the power of rain.
You got my number. You got my name. So why don't you call me Little Liza Jane?